Hello, rock stars. Hello and welcome. I am in France today, and the sun is just coming up, and it's a chilly, wet day. And I'm so delighted that you've joined me. Your present self, if you're watching this live, if you're participating live, and your future self, if you're watching the recording. Thank you for showing up. We're here for networking tips and tools to nip nerves in the bud. This is our last Learning and Development Roundtable of 2023. We'll take a break in December and then we'll start up again in 2024. And my name is Leanne Reagan. Let me know in the chat, where are you? Physically, where are you in the world? And how many roundtables have you been to? Is this your first? Have you been to other ones? Let me know. However many you've been to, you are welcome. I'm so delighted that you're here. So thanks to everyone. And I had a message this morning. There's going to be power cuts in Myanmar. So someone was messaging me about trying to participate with, on their cell phone. So, okay. So Abiola, we have in Geneva. Charity is in Amman. I've never been there. I'd love to go. Atikala, good morning from Afghanistan. Matthias is on the bus in Geneva. Oh, Matthias, that's great. You're very dedicated. Thank you. And Alice is in Manila. Oh, lovely. SM is in Bangladesh. Alexandra is in Kenya. Anne is from cold, wet London. Oh, you're just parking. Oh, lovely. And this is about your third roundtable. Welcome. Let's see. Lama is in Syria. Hi, Lama. Joseph, your first one. Oh, a special welcome to you is in Nairobi. And Laura's also in Geneva. And Lama, it's your first session. So lovely, lovely, lovely. Again, my name is Leanne Reagan. I'm delighted that you're here. I know there's lots of things that you could be doing. So thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. If this is the first time that I've had the pleasure of working with you, know that I tend to work in 3 areas. So my background's in learning and development, and I do lots of work in team building and all of those things that make working as part of a group either very pleasant and juicy and wonderful and ease, or just migraine inducing. So things like conflict resolution, collaboration, communication, creativity, managing change, all of those things. I also do a lot of work on digital engagement. So how to use tech tools for ease, for efficiency, for collaboration, communication, etc. And then I also work with subject matter experts to teach them how to design and deliver really great, impactful learning. And in fact, I did a workshop for the UN yesterday. Part 1 and part 2 is later on today for that. Sophie's just coming in. Lovely. Hi, Kennedy. Oh, it's so nice to have you here. And Sala and Nanya, welcome everyone. By the way, if I mispronounce your name, please DM me and let me know how to pronounce your name. Okay, and I've seen someone is DMing me. If anyone needs to leave early, as long as you're a member and you automatically became a member when you signed up for this roundtable, you'll get all of the resources, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. If you haven't already, and if you're active or you want to be active on LinkedIn, please feel free. We have a, based on members' requests, we have a LinkedIn Learning and Development Roundtable group. I've put the link in the chat. Pardon me. And if your future self is watching this, all the links will be in the video below. So feel free. It's a way to keep in touch in between roundtables. Also, I know that there's lots of expertise in our community, lots of wisdom, lots of advice, lots of tips. So please feel free to actively participate and share networking tips and tools that have worked for you, or maybe things to stay away from, things that didn't work well for you. As I mentioned, you automatically became a member when you RSVP'd. That means you'll get all of the resources. So you'll get the audio recording, you'll get the video recording, you'll get a workbook, the PowerPoint deck, and every single resource that went into planning this this workshop. If you find value in these roundtables, please share the membership link. It would be I would really appreciate if you could take a moment to share that membership link with one or two people that you think would like to join us. Anyone and everyone who's interested in learning is welcome here. Okay. Also, every month, including this month, I ask you for your valuable feedback and your input on the next topic. So I'll be giving you a survey for that. And as a way of saying thank you, I draw a random winner of my online ban boring online meetings. Oh, so I'll tell you who the winner is this month at the end of our workshop today. And also, I really encourage you to curate your learning. Be kind to your future self. So if you've been here, if you've been here before, you will see, you'll know that I share a couple of different worksheets. And today it's the to-do to done worksheet. So feel free, and I'm sure you have ways to remember and curate what you're learning. If this method speaks to you, feel free to use it. So that link, hang on, I just shared the wrong link. So the link is in the chat in a minute here. There you go. And once you download it, it becomes editable. So this is a way to be kind to your future self and, pardon me, not only remember, but apply everything that you're going to learn today. And also, I started this last month. I will send you because members sometimes say, oh, Leanne, I want the resources right away. It does take the team a little bit of time to upload the video and timestamp it and create the workbook, etc. However, the second this roundtable ends, this is a new thing, the PowerPoint deck is going to hit your email inbox. So you can watch for that roughly an hour and a half from now. And then everything else will come to you on Monday. Okay, so this is what we're planning on doing today. Good morning, Mahmood from Pakistan. Lovely to have you here. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to go over 11 reasons why networking is so important. 11 simple do's and don'ts to do with networking, and 11 really cool creative tools. I just had such a good time researching this for you. Probably some tools you may already have heard of, and I can almost guarantee that there'll be some tools that hopefully will make you go, ooh, that are really interesting and intriguing and new for you. You'll get a chance to create a bit of a customized networking map for yourself, and hopefully you'll come away feeling very refreshed and confident in your newly built upon networking skills. And you'll also get access to all the resources that went into creating this roundtable. They'll all be in a workbook for you. And if you are a UN staff person, you can count this towards your annual professional development as long as you fill in the RSVP or the attendance form. And I'll give you that link at the end of the workshop today. I wanted to thank people who gave feedback or who gave me some input on what they wanted to see for this month's topic, which included, I love this comment. A member said, I want to see a balance between I want to get to a balance between cool and annoying networking. So hopefully we're going to veer very sharply towards the cool, interesting, engaging, creative networking. And then also someone said, how to network when remote work has become so prevalent. So we'll also talk about that today. Okay, and you may have noticed a bit of a theme in the numbers. So 11 reasons why networking is so important, 11 do's and don'ts, and 11 tools. And that's because it's our 11th birthday. So I just wanted to play this little clip. It's this month is 11 years, marks 11 years that I have been doing these roundtables. So a little clap and a little congratulations to everyone here. Oh, thanks, Adikala. I want to say congratulations to everyone. So I couldn't do this without you. So thank you for signing up. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for spreading the word. Let's really, really grow our community. I really rely on you to do that. So thank you, everyone. Oh, thanks, Sala. Yeah, happy birthday to everyone. 11th birthday. I can't believe it. 11 years. Okay, so I would love to turn it over to you. Let's just for a moment, I would love if I'm just going to stop the share for a second. So if everyone can just turn on your cameras just for a second. So just turn on your cameras. And just wave hello. Hi, Anne. Oh, nice to see you. Hi, Maria. Hi, Genti. Hey, Lama. Matthias. Lama, I'm so glad you made it here. So nice to have you here. Atikala, Lara. Hey. Happy birthday. Hello. Hi, Mahmoud.
Thank
Alexandra, Joseph, Wenjing. Oh, so great to see you here. Okay, let me bring you back to our deck and feel free in the chat. Let me know, how do you feel about networking? So when you hear that word, how do you feel about networking? Let me know in the chat. And there's no judgment. If you are like, love it, can't get enough, that's of course completely fine. And if you are, it makes me nervous and anxious and, I'm just trying to pin my. So let me know in the chat there. How do you feel about networking? I love okay, so someone's saying, okay, it's difficult. Ling is saying, I think it opens up opportunities. Worst case, people don't respond, but nothing to lose. Oh, great attitude, Ling, nice. Lama saying it's difficult. It's difficult for you. Okay, yeah. And Camille is saying necessary. Someone's saying not my strength at all. We're going to change all that. So one of the things about networking is I really want you to take away what works for you, because there's so many different ways to do networking, and it's really important that it feels authentic and genuine in a way that fits you. Okay, let's see. Exciting and challenging. I'm really enjoying the learning part, but I'm a natural introvert. Oh, Genti, I'm a raging introvert. So don't, if you're concerned, introverts can make beautiful, wonderful networkers, not to worry. Natalie is saying stressful and sometimes a bit fake. Yeah, if you've ever been approached by someone and under the guise of networking and they're just pumping you for all you can give and they're not giving anything in return, yeah, it can feel fake, awkward, kind of slimy sometimes. Sala is saying challenging and awkward sometimes. Lara saying, I very much like it, but seems like an endless task. And this is stressful, the endless aspect. The more you do, the more you feel you can do, and sees how valuable it is. Okay, Claude, networking means collaboration with others or learning from others. Matthias, the only way to get ahead, another job. Yeah, it's quite critical, especially today. Samir, the best thing ever. Woohoo. And you learn how to work the crowd with practice. Yes, it does take practice. Maria enjoys it. Anna saying, I think I do it fine, but it depends on the mood. And I avoid push sell aspects. Yeah, absolutely. And Atikala saying, I feel it's good to use for good relationship and exchange of information and ideas and making social contacts. Yeah, exchange, right? We want it to be an exchange. We don't want it to be a one-way street. And hi, Karen, is saying stressful is the right word. Never know how to start a conversation with a stranger. Oh, and then I've got a DM Getting the inertia out of not doing anything is hard, but at its best. I enjoy making genuine connections with people. There's always something to connect on. Nice. And Mahmoud is saying, it's nice to listen to colleagues' ideas and experience on networking. Yeah, I love the variety. Alice, not my thing at all, but still a bit social phobic, but I know it's important. Yeah, good for you for being here, Alice. Yeah, especially if you find it awkward, uncomfortable, especially hats off to those folks about being here. So thank you. Okay, I'd love to hear, why do you think it's important? I did some research and I'm going to share 11 reasons why the research tells us it's important. But why do you think networking is important? And I'm making an assumption that you think it's important because you're here as part of the roundtable. So why do you think it's important? And some of you have already spoken to this. So, sharing ideas with colleagues, expanding your network. But what do you think? What are some other ideas of why networking is important? It's part of co-creating. Oh, I love that, Anne. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Camille is saying, comments are coming in fast here. It's just great. Building connections to understand our environment. Yes. Laura, expanding our views of the world and our understanding diverse perspectives. Oh, these are so good. To progress in your career, but also outside of office life as well, assuming new roles and jobs. It's adding to your knowledge, to get inspiration, to build synergies and relationships. And it's how, this is so good, Alice. It's how you know the world is big and there's so many things to learn. Oh, that's lovely. It's part of improving your work. It has lots of benefits to our functions. And Maria says it helps us grow both professionally and personally. And Alexander saying it broadens our perspectives and opportunities. Yeah, I want to show you, I don't know if anyone's seen this video. I'm just going to play it in a second. It's about 3 minutes long. I think when I was doing the research for this workshop, I think networking can be a powerful tool for social change, right? A lot of you talked about perspective. So one of the amazing benefits of networking is it expands our perspective. So I wanted to play you what I think is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful video on perspective. And no, it's a brief video. It's in Danish, but there are subtitles. There is a quick mention of sexual orientation and of sex. So if you're at home and you have little ears around you, just know that's coming up. So I'm going to start to play it, and just give me a thumbs up just to ensure that I know that you're seeing and hearing it okay.
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new Danes, and those who've always been here. The people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
Oh, sorry, folks. Oh, sorry, folks.
In here, the people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
Velkommen. Jeg kommer til at stille jer nogle spørgsmål i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem. Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn? Hvem er bonusforældre?
And then suddenly, there's us. We who believe in life after death. We who've seen UFOs. And all of us who love to dance. We who've been bullied. And we who've bullied others. And then there's us, the lucky ones who've had sex this past week. We who are broken-hearted. We who are madly in love. We who feel lonely. We who are bisexual. And we who acknowledge the courage of others. We who have found the meaning of life. And we who have saved lives. And then there's all of us who just love Denmark. So maybe there's more that brings us together than we think. TV2 Denmark. All that we share.
Let me know how did you feel watching that video? The video will be in the workbook, and I'm also sharing the link to it in case you want it right away. So let me know. It gets me every time, especially the it makes me tear up. The young boy who acknowledges that he's been a bully. He's so full of emotion. Yeah, Camille, it's very inspiring. So I think networking is in the same vein as that, right? We can stay in our own little tiny silos, or one of the ways we can use networking is as a social change tool, right? To really, really expand our perspective and to bridge and connect and to help ourselves and other people feel like we belong. Okay, let's continue then with the reasons. So, and some of you have mentioned these. So, if you are one of those people that, networking is like bad tasting medicine, you think you should do it, but you're kind of find it cringy, perhaps these 11 reasons will help you find some inspiration. So certainly getting new ideas and resources. I am reaching out to my network right now. I'm trying to figure out a piece of my business that has been stumping me. So I've been creating these networking sessions to reach out to big, bold, beautiful brains that I know. And I am getting so many great ideas. So instead of, bonking my head against the wall, this process has turned into be so fun and interesting and getting to connect with people that I really respect and admire. So in the short term, you can get new ideas and resources. In the long term, you're actually building a network, right? You can build a very, very powerful network. It really affects your reputation and your brand, if that's applicable for you. I'll share all of these resources in the chat. Again, everything will be in one place. But this is from a UN workshop. Let me just share. There's a ton of resources there in the chat. So this comes from a UN workshop. An African proverb is, a good reputation is something you must pay for, but you can never buy. My reputation precedes me. That's Indiana Jones. And when a door opens, not to your knock, consider your reputation, from Saudi Arabia. These are some of the things that people thought of when they were asked about reputation in this workshop. This workshop was called Managing Your Reputation, and how to access it is in the comments there. And also, in addition to your reputation, it can really build your status as someone who collaborates, as someone who reaches out, as someone who is of service and shares their resources. It's also a great way to keep your ear to the ground for opportunities, for jobs, for roles, for resources. for new tasks, ways to stretch yourself and grow, things that you wouldn't maybe hear about in formal channels, you can hear about in informal channels. So, for example, I've been in this field for about 35 years. I've been self-employed for about 25 years, and almost 100% of my work comes to me through my network, through referrals. It's very, very rare for someone to cold call me. Okay, and then you can get insight into where you're at right now, where you want to be in the future, and then to bridge that gap, how to get there. Right, that's part of what I'm using this process that I'm running in the background here for. And also by reaching out, by collaborating, you're actually improving those critical core human skills. I don't like the term soft skills, of communication, collaboration, sometimes conflict resolution, managing change. It can be really, really beneficial to brush up on those skills. And then you can often get support from senior people. A couple people have mentioned to me about mentoring. So you can, one way to use networking is as a way of looking for a mentor and securing a mentor. And also you can give support. So you can get support, and you can also give support to people that might be new on the team, new in their job. They might be younger than you, less experienced, etc. And once you do this, I find that it really raises your self-confidence. It's a really lovely, proactive, relationship building, resource building process to do. And then finally, you can develop really long-lasting relationships, right? Some people you'll network with, they'll come and go, but others you'll build a long-lasting relationship with. And by the way, all of these resources here, or these reasons rather, I adapted these from basically 2 sources, which is 10 reasons why networking is essential for your career. I've put that link in the chat, and also a Forbes article as well. I just want to recognize that Niang just joined us, who I happen to know is coming in from Myanmar. So Niang, I'm so glad that you managed to make I know you're having electricity cuts there. You were emailing me, so special warm welcome to you. So any thoughts on those 11 reasons? Any comments, any questions before we switch over to some do's and don'ts? And by the way, after the do's and don'ts, we'll take a short break. So I'll go back to that slide actually. Any comments or questions about those reasons why it's important? Do they make sense? Okay, then give me a thumbs up if you're ready to turn the page and look at the do's and don'ts. Oh, so Karen's saying, great to see the reasons helpful. Good. Oh, hi, Padmerse. What do you mean by building a resource network? Oh, so Padmerse, so once you once you've done networking for some time, you can have a network that you use yourself and for other people as well. So think of things like if I'm looking for someone, I'll be in the short term looking for someone to help me with my social media strategy. So I could go to cold calling, like I could go to LinkedIn and do a search, but rather than that, is I'll go to my resource network and I'll ask people for recommendations. So you can build that up yourself, and you can, once you're networking, you can use other people's resource networks with their permission. Let me know if that makes sense, Padmerse. Makes sense, rather. Charity's saying the reasons all make sense, and recently learned that networks can be a great resource for growth. Yes.
Clara?
Oh, hi, Melissa. Did you have a comment or a question? I see you're unmuted.
Hi, sorry, no, it was my mistake.
No worries. You were testing me to see if I was paying attention. No worries.
Exactly.
Atikila saying it's important because it's for the good of everyone. It means mutual benefits. Yeah. And Lama saying reasons make sense, but not really easy to get there. Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Yeah. At this point, I'm just building the case for why networking is so important. And also, again, to go back to that video, I think it's a really powerful tool for social change. We can network with people that we are very, very similar to us. And networking is taken to a whole other level when we're networking with people who are in different careers than us, different stages of careers, different passport countries, different education levels. It can really be a tool for bridging and connecting people. Salah's saying, could you tell me more about building status? Yeah, so if you continue to network, if that becomes a part of what you naturally do, then probably what will happen as a result of that is your status will go up because people will see you as a connector, as a bridge builder, as someone who communicates well, as someone who shares resources, as someone who brings people together. And while we don't necessarily want to do that for the reason of building status, building our status comes as an outcome of that. So let me know if that makes sense, Salah. Okay, so let's go on. Ioannis. Oh, hi, Ioannis. How is networking not nepotism or favoritism? I'm always very skeptical when I hear let's network. Great question. Oh, I love that question. So I'd be interested in other people's opinions on this. My opinion on this is that if the intention is not authentic, then it can come across as slimy, salesy. If I'm trying to appear like I'm sharing resources, but really I'm kind of batting you over the head, hire this person, that comes across as not genuine, not authentic. Mahmoud is saying building a reputation in what sense, please? Oh, so your reputation will be affected by your ability to network. So if you want to be seen as someone who's collaborative, who shares resources, who helps people, with questions and sharing resources with people, then that's going to build your reputation, right? You'll be seen as someone who is a person of service, right? So let me know if that all makes sense. In the meantime, I'm going to shift over to our 11 do's and don'ts. So we've got our 11 reasons, then we'll do our do's and don'ts. We'll take a quick break and then we'll get into some, I'm hoping you're going to find these tools so cool because I got really excited about them. Okay, so do's and don'ts. So one of the things, this sounds maybe simple, but is to prioritize networking. You really need to bring it to the forefront, have a plan, and you've got a great start by attending this workshop. And it falls into one of the, if you've seen this, this quadrant before, it falls into the hardest quadrant, which is this one here. Which are things that are important, but not urgent. So things like networking, learning, self-development, professional development, attending the roundtable. I think it's really, really important, but it's not urgent. And that's the hardest quadrant for us to work into. So when you make this a priority, you're really building some really great skills and contacts, etc. for the future. So number 2 is be clear. So when you're networking, you want to think about what is your story? How are you portraying yourself? And in the prep work, I don't know if you had the opportunity to think about this, but I've got a poll coming up in just a second. But you might even wish to think about your archetype. So if that's a new concept for you, Your archetype is kind of these big, broad, global themes that are woven into humans' lives. And it can affect how you define yourself, how you tell your story. So we'll get to a poll about that in just a second. But think about, how are you portraying yourself? How do you tell your story? There's a very different sense to, please help me, I need help, versus, oh, I have some resources I've been working on. I know that you mentioned XYZ to me recently, and you came to mind because I found this great resource. Can I share it with you? And also, I have a question. Would you mind asking a question? I know you're a real expert in this area. So same overview, I guess, but very different feelings behind that. And some of this comes from this amazing podcast called How to Really Know a Person. So I'll share that in the link there. And the other thing about this is, and a lot of you mentioned this at the beginning, was about perspective. So in that podcast, there's a great story about two people are standing on either side of a river, and person A says to the other person, "How do I get to the other side of the river?" And person B says, "You're already on the other side of the river." So that person hasn't been able to shift their perspective and see things from the other person's perspective. So networking is great for that. It really expands and illuminates our perspective. And I would love to know, so these are, I put this in the agenda. Tequila is saying exactly, right? So you're trying to get to that other side of the river, get into the other person's shoes. So when you think about telling your story, I'm just going to pull up a poll here, and I'll put some additional resources about archetypes in the workbook. But just for fun, just for play, you should be able to see some archetypes on the screen, and feel free you can pick one or two or three. When you think of your core self, like who you are at your essence, are you the brave hero? Are you the lover? Do you follow your heart, your emotions, art, creativity? Are you an adventurer? Are you a creator, a joker? Are you the innocent? You're all about honesty. Are you the magician? Are you the rebel? You go against things, you break norms. Are you the ruler? You like to be in a position of authority. You're a real leader. Are you the everyday hero? Like, look, let's keep things straightforward, community-based, none of this high, fancy, falutin things. Are you a caregiver, or are you the wise hero? And saying, I work with some global nurses who will not self-promote or assert with seniors. They want to be discovered. Oh, yeah. Reputation is to be demure and self-contained. It takes us months to get peer support and challenge groups to get at ease with it. Yeah, so some people come to this naturally, sometimes a little too strong, right? They can come across as not authentic and not genuine, and just, I want to take, I want to take everything from you, and I'm not going to give you anything. And others need a little bit more support. Samir, I think I'm a chameleon. Nice. Yeah, these ones come from Sam Reynolds' work, and I will I'll put some resources right now in the chat, and all of the resources I put in the chat will all be in the workbook. So don't worry if your head, I put them there in case there's something you want right away, but they'll all be curated for you. Okay, I'll just leave that up for another second there, a few seconds. So what I'm loving, so I can see your results, and it's all anonymous, don't worry. We have a huge range, which is great. And we have at least two people, at least, have chosen each archetype. Okay, so there's a few that haven't submitted your answer there. So I'll just leave that open for another second. But in the meantime, let me just go on to this one here. And this speaks to maybe some of your concerns. One of the do's is to be focused, as I mentioned before. So focused on yourself, your style, to be focused on the person, the other person. Learn to listen and listen to learn. It's from a great book called The Hook Point. And don't be a topper. This comes from that podcast I mentioned, How to Really Know a Person. Anyone know what a topper is? When I say don't be a topper, what does that mean? Any ideas? So a topper is, so if someone says, I don't know, oh, I have my master's in social work and community development. Oh, Padma say it's kind of, yeah, it's a very subtle put down. Basically, you're trying to one up the other person. So if the other person says, oh, I have my master's in social work, and community development, a topper would say, well, I have my PhD, right? Like they're trying to get on top. And I really like Deborah Tannen's work. So instead of a ladder, like trying to figure out how can we get on top of that person, think of it more as a sidewalk, right? How can I be beside the person? So we want to prioritize, we want to be clear on your story, your archetype, be focused, not be a topper. There's still a few people who haven't, I'll keep that poll open for a little bit more. And be inclusive, right? Really, when you're thinking about, oh, Anna saying Deborah T, an all-time hero reference. Yeah, she's so good. I love her. Actually, I haven't read, Anna, have you read anything of hers recently? I need to go and see. I haven't read stuff of hers for a long time, but Deborah Chan, she's a linguist. So good. So good. Yeah, I don't know if she's published anything recently. Okay, so number 4, be inclusive. Think about reaching out to people who might not necessarily be the first people that you think about, right? So think about other, think about difference, think about diversity, equity, inclusion. Who can you reach out to network with? And then be prepared, be organized. These are some things, I've adapted these from Hook Point and How to Really Know a Person. So have a plan. For those of you who might be nervous, right before you go into a meeting online or in person, you might want to strike a power pose. Deborah Cuddy's work, she has one of the most watched TED Talks. Give really non-judgmental validation, listen with your full presence, ask questions, and get some really good, interesting questions ahead of time. So if you're nervous about what to ask the person, you might wish to. I was walking with my partner yesterday morning, and I was thinking, a good question to ask someone could be, what's a moment from your life, if you're trying to just open the gates, right, to get some communication going, what's a moment from your life that if it was captured on social media would have had a chance of going viral? So you're asking about something unusual, surprising, dramatic, unique, different, right? I mean, that could get you some good information. You want to be really clear about their time boundaries. If they've given you 15 minutes or 45 minutes, I always confirm ahead of time, are you still good for 15 minutes? Are you still good for 45? And I do not go over that time. Super respectful. Watch your body language, that you look open and confident and comfortable. Those butterflies might be in your stomach and going all over the place, but you look confident. Make sure that you're acknowledging what they're saying. You're nodding your head. Right? Your full body participation. I'm just looking at the chat here. Maria said, oh, I think I closed the survey by mistake. Oh, I can still see that it's open. So it should still be there, Maria. And Camille, okay, if you haven't been able to answer it, that's okay. But actually, let me just close it. Last time I forgot to close a poll, and in Zoom, that means that you don't see the results. So I'm just going to quickly share the results here. I'll put this in the workbook. So you can see that you're really, there's lots of diversity here, which is fabulous, and which I would expect with a global crowd. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. So you want to active listen to content and to feeling. Sometimes active listening is only about paraphrasing the content, but you also want to paraphrase or reflect back the feelings. You seem really excited about that really seemed to move you. Also, there's a difference between listening and waiting for your turn to talk. So you want to really, really listen. And I love, this is from How to Really Know a Person, that podcast. Only 20% of people that we don't know, and only 35% of people do we know, do we get it right when we're trying to figure out how they're feeling? 35% of someone we know. Really? A third of the time, only a third of the time. That means 2/3 of the time, we're not getting it right of what we think the other person's feeling. I was astounded by that. And also be comfortable with pause time. So some of us are more comfortable than others. And I love this. Again, this is in the How to Know a Person podcast. And of course, this is a generalization, but they quoted this piece of information that in some of Japanese culture, that folks are comfortable with up to an 8-second pause time. An 8-second pause time. So make sure when you're asking questions that you're leaving pause for people to answer those questions. Okay. Make sure that you're collecting information and have a way to track that. I'm always taking notes, and I let the person know that I'm taking notes. If it's something contentious, if the topic is contentious, or I think they might be a bit nervous, I'll say, you're welcome to see these notes afterwards, and know that they're only for my information. I'm not going to share them with anyone. You also want to be personable, so use their name. And if you are, let me know in the chat. Some of you have names that might frequently be misspelled. Let me know. Like my name is always misspelled. So make sure that you are spelling that name right. I'm also, I just looked at an older comment where someone was asking about Deborah Tannen's, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you. So yeah, make sure that you get that name right. And also, you may not have a way of getting it right. So you can say, if I'm mispronouncing your name, please let me know. Okay, and then be clear about what you can give, right? So many people go into networking, this is what I want to get out of it, but how, what can I give? So I have a huge document on what to do and see in Kenya, and I'm always sharing that with people if they ask questions or they're new, or so that's something I can give. The roundtable is something that I give away for free. All of those, 11 years of resources, all of my blog posts. If someone's talking to me, I'm like, oh, I think there's a blog post that might help you with that. Would you like me to share that with you? So what can you give? And then curate your content. So how are you collecting all that information? In one area of my business, I have this Google sheet that has beautifully color-coded drop-down menus that tells me when I need to get back to someone and what the status of that particular piece of work is. And it just makes things so much easier than trying to remember. So how are you going to curate that content? Camille, what if we are contacting a person we don't have anything to give? Oh, great question. Then say at the beginning, or I usually do it at the end, is there anything that I can help you with? Right? That's such a powerful question. It shows that you are open and genuine, you're authentic, and that you're willing to be a support of someone. So yeah, if you write, you might not know right up front. I'm so glad you asked that question. You can ask them. Atikela saying, my name is, and I see you. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can make sure. You can ask them. You can go onto LinkedIn, make sure you're spelling their name right, and when you're pronouncing it, you can double check it. Just so simple and so respectful. And I'm sure that you have things to give. You probably just haven't thought about it. I'm sure you read a blog post, you listened to a podcast, you've got this book, you've got this article you could recommend. You probably have way, way, way more than you thought about. Okay, last couple ones here. I mentioned this a little bit before. Be really, really polite and respectful of time. Be on time, respect that time that they've given you, and don't go beyond it. Super important. And then also be grateful and say thank you. People miss this step all the time. And feel free to be creative. So I'll show you something that I send to contacts in a second. I also do sometimes, if someone's really, really, really helped me, those, maybe as a child, you did those little fortune tellers. I'll custom make one for someone. And I'll send it in the mail to them. I'll send a card in the mail to them. I have a gratitude project going on right now where I hand watercolor, because I'm not very good at watercoloring, so it makes me practice, a card, and then I send one a week saying why I'm grateful. People love that stuff. It's so simple. I love this. So Nyang is saying in the chat, my name is Nyang Win. Nyang means 99. And I also, when it's not auditory, I'll also say to people, please phonetically spell your name if I'm saying it wrong. Okay, and Salah's saying, usually in meetings and conferences, I really struggle with a thought, and the person I'm approaching may not be interested, so I prefer to network. And Salah, yeah. Okay, so let me show you the tools, and we'll see, because it is important you want to push yourself a bit. You want to be out of your comfort zone a little bit. And you don't want to do something that doesn't feel authentic to you. Okay, so we're just going to break in just a second, but here are the sources for all that information. And Chabesa is a Learning and Development Roundtable member, and she's a queen of networking. So I asked her for a resource, and she shared the article 10 Ways to Overcome a Fear of Networking, Forging Connections Authentically and with Confidence. So that came from fellow Learning and Development member. And then you can do things that are just really fun. So this is something that I will send to folks. I'll send a link to this. So let me just show you this.
THANKYOU, thank you, THANKYOU, thank you, THANKYOU,
Okay, you get the idea, right? So people love this, and it fits my personality, my brand. And it's just a way to be creative and to authentically say, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. There was a question from Nyang, if the person has a negative attitude, what will you act? Yeah, so usually you want to ask permission to chat with someone first. So if they have a negative attitude, you may wish at the beginning of the meeting, or however it is you're connecting, say, is this still a good time? I'm wondering if we need to, you seem that distracted, and I'm hoping that maybe your day has not started off in a way that you'd prefer. If you need to reschedule, that's completely fine by me. So things like that you can say. Kirsten, can you tell us more about your good networking habits, please? Small things that one can practice those 66 days until it goes into our blood. Okay. So Kirsten, I'm going to give you some tools. We're going to take a quick break. So see if the tools answer those that lovely question. And Noelia is asking about the links. Yes, you will get every single link that I have shared and way more. You'll get it. Actually, that's a really good time here. Let me just quickly say, so I'm just going to divert for a second before the break. So I'm going to give you a survey at the end of the workshop to fill in, and you will get a little surprise at the end of the survey. It really helps me with the roundtables, and it gives you a chance to comment on what you want for the next one. Also, as I mentioned, as we go into break, it's our 11th birthday, and there are a whole bunch, like there's my team behind the scenes, and there's also a whole bunch of people at the UN. I'm so fortunate that the UN in Nairobi and the UN in New York promotes this roundtable. So please, speaking of thank you, I've put 2 links in the chat, and those are to Jamboards. So they're a document, they're going to be our thank you cards. So if you could take a second during the break to sign that, I'll send those to one to the New York team and one to the UN team. As we go to break, I again would love, please, if you find this of value, the roundtables, please share the link with 1 or 2 people and encourage them to become a member. And I'll put up another poll. I'm looking for topics for next year, so feel free to fill that poll in. And the only topic that's set next year is the January 25th roundtable, which is, I always do, how to design a learning plan for the year. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Please take a stretch, grab a tea, whatever works for you, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. And I'll also start that poll. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you being here. Hi, folks. We're back from the break. Thank you to everyone who has signed the thank you cards for New York and Geneva. It really does take an enormous amount of folks behind the scenes to get these roundtables off the ground. So thank you for sending the thank yous. It means a huge amount to the folks. They really love getting these. I do this every year, say thanks to them. And thank you to those of you who filled in the poll. I'll leave that open for a little bit longer, the poll around which topics you're interested in. I've taken these topics, by the way, from in the feedback surveys that I send each month. People give ideas and suggestions, so I put those all together, and I have added them in the poll there. So I'll leave that open. And again, it's you can pick as many topics as you want. You don't have to pick just one. So I'll leave that open for a little bit longer. And let's continue. So we are well on our way. We've done 11 reasons why networking is important, 11 simple do's and don'ts. And now I think this is the funnest part. I had so much fun with this portion of the research. And again, just to note, you'll get the PowerPoint deck. It will come into your email inbox the second this roundtable is over. So you can watch for the PowerPoint deck right away. And then it takes us a while to timestamp the video and get all the workbooks sorted. But all of those links, everything will be there for you, as well as accessing 11 other years of roundtables. Okay, so we've got 2 more things to do, which are the tools and then some time for you to create your own networking map. So can I get a thumbs up? Are you ready to proceed? Let me know. Great. Got the little horn thing. That's awesome. Okay, so as we go through so I think the reasons for networking and the do's and don'ts are pretty universal. They would apply to pretty much anybody. The tools, however, pay attention to your reaction, because I really want you to pick the tools that fit how you are as a person, right? How you prefer to network. So some of these will land more than others, depending on your personality. And feel free, as always, to share your own tips and tools. I'd love to hear about others, because clearly these are just a few tools. Okay, so number 1, and I've divided the tools into preparing for networking, and then actually doing your networking. So you probably want to get some research done. So you can use a tool like Swirl. Swirl is so fun. It's this really, really simple research tool that works on the Kanban system. So it gives you all these columns. And also Marcia Shandor, who is a amazingly epically wonderful human, a dear colleague and friend of mine, she gave me permission to share a handout with you, which I put in the chat. And it's all about, if you're trying to research someone, you're trying to find out a little bit more about them before you meet with them. And then you can also put up a Google alert for the person. So anytime that they are mentioned online, that information, that link will come to you. So you can say, I'm just going to pick someone at random here. Abiola, thank you so much for meeting with me. I happened to read your last article in the Gazette. I really appreciated when you spoke about point 1, 2, and 3. Like probably Abiola is thinking, wow, she's done her homework. Like, she knows about me. So you want to do some research, and there's lots of different tools, but those are a couple of tools that you can use. Then you want to document. So how are you going to create or curate all that information, right? Put it all together so it's easy. When I'm doing informational interviews with clients, when they come to me and they want, they're asking me about doing work for them, I have in Evernote, I use a particular list of questions. So it's really easy. I'll pull that up, and I fill it in. Okay, and then it may be in preparation when you're thinking about what can you share with people. It might be that you can share things about particular topics. You might wish to establish your own group. It just really depends on what your subject matter expertise is. Also, under preparation, you want to think about how are you going to present yourself. So here are a couple of different tools. I'll put these in the chat here. So I have my CV, my resume is in a regular format, but it's also in an infographic format. So you're seeing a small version of it on the screen. I'll show you a larger version in a second. So you can really play with things and be unique to help yourself stand out, be creative. So put your CV into an infographic. You can also, this is one of the tools I discovered. Has anyone used Video Ask? Video Ask? It is an amazing tool. The free version is a little bit limited, but there is a free version. And basically it's interactive videos. So you can use them for all kinds of things as a way to follow up with networking, as a way to introduce yourself. It's a really, really incredible tool. You can also make your bios interactive and interesting. Oh, Atikila, I'll show you. So the picture there is an infographic. An infographic, thank you for asking, takes a lot of information and puts it out there in the way of images. So not as much text, but more in images. The next slide shows you my CV in infographic format. I'll show it to you a bit bigger in just a second. So again, when you're presenting yourself, how can you make yourself, your beautiful, big, bold, change maker, amazing self? How can you make yourself stand out? You might want to put your CV in an infographic. So I didn't design this. I put this up on Upwork and had an infographic expert do it for me. You can make an interactive video with Video Ask. It is phenomenal. That is such a cool tool. It's quite limited, the free version, but I'm going to definitely be playing around with that more. You can make even your bio interactive. So when I'm meeting with people, I'll say, if you want to find out more about me, here's the link to my bio. It's interactive. So people, there's like pull down things, people can find out what they want. And then I always say, and don't forget to scroll your mouse over my picture for a surprise. So does anyone know what happens when you, I gave you the link above. It's the rock, paper, scissors about. Anyone know what happens when you scroll your mouse over my picture? If you want to try it out. Yeah, Laura. So my hair goes flying, right? And Nicanor saying allegedly some hair thing. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying, please don't walk away from this workshop saying that, you know, you have to have a picture with your hair up. It has to fit you. It has to fit your brand, has to fit your personality. But that is a very popular page on my website and it fits me, right? I want people to know I'm creative, I'm unique, I do things differently. I really want to grab your attention, get you being curious, etc. Okay, you can also use a tool like Linktree. Has anyone used Linktree before? So again, this is all under the umbrella of how do you present yourself? How do you make yourself stand out? Linktree is simply a free tool where you can put links to all sorts of different kinds of things. You can put a link to your infographic CV. You can put a link, you know, I have a program catalog that has pages and pages and pages of sample workshops that I teach. So you can use a tool like that to curate information about you. If you write a blog, if you have publications, maybe a link to your LinkedIn page, et cetera, your YouTube channel, if you have one, et cetera. Okay, and I just want to pause and ask for questions. So Atikila, this is an example of an infographic. So this is my CV. When I give prospective clients my CV, I give the regular form, but I also give this infographic form. So it shows what I'm about in pictures. Okay, comments, questions so far? Is that making sense? Has anyone tried Linktree or Video Ask or another tool? Any other tool that portrays your background in interesting ways? You're welcome, Atikila. Because there's so many of them. I just picked some very, well, actually Video Ask is not super simple, but their customer service is epic. If you get stuck, you message them and they will send you a customized email for how to move forward in making your Video Ask. Okay, I have a DM from someone who uses so.bo as a substitute for, okay, so I don't know that tool. I'm going to look that up. So I'm just going to copy the link that someone kindly shared in a DM, so I won't say your name. So it's so.bio, which is a substitute for Linktree. Nice. Oh, Lara, so Linktree, Linktree is, and if you're confused, maybe go to YouTube to look for a video. Basically, it's like a one-page URL that you can put links to. So you can have a link to your bio, a link to your CV, a link to your LinkedIn, a link to your blog, whatever you want. It's like one page that you have links to. Oh, apparently there's a different link. Oh, okay. So the person who DM'd, that's not the right link, but they're looking at they're looking for the correct one. Thank you. Oh, so Atikila, so an infographic is, yes, so you can make your CV into an infographic, and then Video Ask is a video. It's actually a video that's interactive. It's super cool. When we end, I can play an example if you want, or you can just, I give you some links there. You can try them out. There's all different ways to use it. It's amazing. Oh, thank you, Nanya. There's so it's solo.to. Okay. Great. Okay. I think I put some, and I love that you put your own solo. That's great. That's great. That's good networking. And in terms of the Video Ask, I believe I put a couple of links. Yeah, so here are some examples. I'll put the links again. So there's templates, and there are some examples there. So people use them for all sorts of different things other than networking. So some of the examples may not apply to you, but you can definitely use it for networking. Okay, let's continue on. But if you have other questions, just pop them in the chat there. Okay, so we've got research, document, what of your own expertise can you share? Can you start a group, etc.? How are you going to present yourself? And then the nitty gritty. So you want to think about some interesting questions. So I have these two blog posts with a whole bunch of interesting questions. And this is all about dating your colleagues. So there are ways to find out more about your colleagues. The first blog post, you have to scroll down in the post to get to the questions, are personal questions. And the second blog post are all about professional questions. And I also, if you're struggling, you're maybe not sure what to ask people, etc., these are some fabulous resources here. So Celeste Headley has a TED Talk on how to have a better conversation. And I shared the link with you in the chat. I also made a blog post about it. And I also created a worksheet for you. So you can kind of tick off the 10 different things and use those to prepare yourself for networking. And then this other idea, I hadn't heard about this before. So let me know if you've heard of conversation threading. And here is what it is. So this is conversation threading.
Conversational threading. A lot of people don't do this, but conversational threading is when someone asks you a question. Say you ask me a question, ask me where I'm from.
Where are you from?
Adelaide. No threads in that conversation. So people have nothing to go off there. They're like, okay, James, where are you from? Right? So people don't know what to do with that. So when you get good at conversational threading, ask me where I'm from.
Where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Adelaide. I live up in Golfy Heights. It's kind of a hilly area because I love the greenery and it just inspires me to be creative. I create a lot of content online. That's why I love it. I've created multiple threads there for you to latch onto whatever you find interesting. Maybe you're living at the hills. Maybe you're also an introvert like me-ish and you want to be secluded. Maybe also you love greenery. You love the hills. Maybe you value creativity. Oh, I said I create content online. Maybe that sparked an interest for you. We can take this conversation in all those directions now, as opposed to Adelaide. So conversational threading is a very powerful technique and you've got to practice it. These questions always come up. I prepare a response that has multiple threads within them.
Okay, so make sure you give people a chance to thread the needle. I like that, like to stitch together, to latch onto, to thread that needle. Yeah, Samir, right? It's so simple, right? It's so simple. So basically, think of it as little hooks, right? You want to present all these little hooks that someone then can latch onto. I shared the link to that video in the chat, and it will also be in the workbook. Okay, so my friends, you've now done all of your preparation. You've researched, you've documented, you've thought about your own resources and how can you be of service. Maybe you're going to start a group. You've presented yourself, you've got your links, you've got your cool looking video ask or your infographic CV. You've put some time into the nitty gritty, thought of some questions. Now it's time to actually reach out. And I think this is the most underutilized version of networking ever. So one of the challenges of networking is people can think of it as pushy. You know, give me a job, give me a job. I need a job. Please give me a job. I'm here to get a job. Can you hire me? Can you hire me? Can you, you know, like it just doesn't feels a bit desperate and clingy and salesy. And so instead, do informational interviews. So this is this concept where you reach out to someone who you really admire them, you respect their work, maybe they're, you know, a decade ahead in their career, and you ask them questions, right? Most people love to talk about themselves, and it is a fabulous way of non-salesy, non-sleazy, non-pushy networking. This is from Hook Point, this information here. 99% of people fail getting hired because they focus on their own self and not what the person needs. So instead of please give me a job versus how can I be of service? If you want to feel satisfied, oh, this is a spelling mistake there, sorry. Satisfied and happy in your life, be of service. So think about how can you put yourself in the other person's shoes? Asking things like, what are the trends in your industry? What are the things that are really challenging for you? Like that's really interesting strategic information to know for your career, right? Because those are the ways that you can be of service. Okay, also think about how you can curate and share information. So can you have a group that you, a LinkedIn group, etc., that you share information with? Can you be of service? And of course, you want to make sure that you've got people's permission before adding them to a group. And then, of course, the social tools, right? So you can network by commenting, sharing, putting additional information on people's posts, right? If it's LinkedIn, whatever. This is a really great article by a woman named Amanda Gertz about how to increase the number of followers on LinkedIn. So that's there for you. And speaking of that, the person who connected me to Amanda, I met through Lunch Club. So other than Video Ask and the Linktree and tools like that, Lunch Club could be your sweet spot. It could be the thing that blows your mind. Has anyone joined Lunch Club? Let me know if I have any Lunch Club members here. Lunch Club is a free service. So you create a profile. I put the link in the chat. You create a profile. And then you tell it, I want to meet with someone once a month, once a week, however you want. And then it will connect you with people who are looking for your skill set and whose skill set you're looking for. So the person who connected me with that woman, I met on Lunch Club, and he's amazing. We have stayed connected. His name is George. He's from Georgia, the country, not the state, and just incredible, incredible connection. Mahmoud is saying, I think read job description many times and make notes. What is the employer requirements for it? Yes, absolutely. So tailoring your CV for sure. Absolutely. And your cover letter. So think about joining Lunch Club. It's a really simple, easy way, can work for introverts. Also, has anyone done a meetup? Right? So Lunch Club is online and meetups are in person. So you can join, there's, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of meetups all over the world on all sorts of different topics. And they're a great way. They're free. You can meet some really interesting people based on whatever topic it is you're trying to network on. This is the article or the not the article, the link here. Again, to future selves who are watching this, all the links will be in below the video description and in the workbook. Padma C, I've done some meetups for sharing trekking information. Yeah, you can have a meetup on anything, absolutely anything. Okay, and then the last tool I wanted to share with you, and full disclosure, I've researched this, but I haven't tried it myself. But apparently this is the networking tool for introverts. So it has really good reviews, and it's a way to network that is comfortable for those of us who aren't, who need to really refill our tanks by being quiet or being with just a couple of people. So just ticking along here, I'm just keeping an eye on our time. You now have 11 reasons why networking is so important, 11 do's and don'ts, 11 tools. So the last thing, if I can get a thumbs up, is to create the map for yourself. So I'll give you the tool to do this, but let me just pause. Any comments or questions before we do that? I'll just share this link with you just as you're. Any comments or questions? Okay. Okay, then I'm just going to share. I've just given you the link to a tool on Padlet. By the way, thanks everyone so much for signing those thank you cards. I know they're going to be so happy. I just ended this poll here for the topics. Thanks to everyone who filled in that poll. It's so helpful. Okay, and then let me switch over to, sorry, just get on the right screen here. So this is the link that I just shared with you, and I will leave this open so you can fill this in as you wish. Oh, Mahmoud's asking about breaks. Oh, yeah, we can try that next time. Marlon saying, I feel ancient not knowing all these lovely tools. They're new, right? These are not things that were available even, I don't know, 10 years ago. So feel free. I really want you to put all your learning into use. So feel free, when you come to this slide here, you click on these are the instructions here. You click on these 3 dots, you click duplicate to this Padlet, and then you can fill these in. So what are your reasons for networking, the do's you want to work on, the notes on your story, and the tool that you're going to try. So as we finish up here, let me just bring us back. I want to say a huge thank you. And know that you did a lot of great work today. I'm so delighted. The PowerPoint is going to arrive in your inbox in 1 minute. It will be there. Now, if you happen to RSVP super close to when we started, it may not get there, but let me know if you don't get it. Also, the workbook, the video, the audio recording, the video and audio recording will all come out to you on Monday. And if you're like, oh, Leanne, it's hard to wait, these are all of the tools that I have tagged on Diigo. So Diigo is a social bookmarking tool. So all the resources are there. And please use that Padlet as a map for your inspiration and have fun and get going. This is what Diigo looks like. So it has all those links when you click on it. Please remember to share the link. Please, as soon as we end, if you could share that membership link with 2 people, I would be very grateful. Also, the next roundtable is January 25th. It's going to be on learning plans, and all the dates are now on my website for 2024, so you can check those out. And I have a little drum roll here. The winner, so this is the person that I pulled from last month's survey, is Wangui. So Wangui wins a free access to my online course, Ban Boring Online Meetings. So please fill in the feedback survey. I've just put it in the chat. You'll be entered to win a Ban Boring Online Meeting course. And I also put a link to more information there. So in closing, invite people, share this network. And if you haven't already, please sign those 2 thank you cards to the UN folks. And I'm also sharing the UN attendance sheet. So watch for the video. It'll be coming your way. It's time-stamped, so you can just click ahead to any portion that you want. And feel free, please contact me if I can be of further service to your team for team building, tech tools, or training trainers. I would love to chat with you, so please reach out. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you being here. Please stay well, stay safe, and stay creative.